I'm Rhianna. I'm the creator of Vidakush, and I'm an artist. My medium is jewelry and accessories. I first started just kind of copying what my mom would do. So she got really into making jewelry, and I just, as like a little 8 or 9-year-old, really wanted to help her and just be part of what she was doing. So the first time I really got my hands on it was just helping her out, either stringing things or putting different things together. When I was about 20 and I was just getting ready to graduate college, my mom was getting rid of a bunch of her old supplies, and she gave them to me, and I didn't even really want them, and they were just kind of sitting in the corner on my desk, and I just got bored one day and started playing with them, and it was like design explosion. I didn't put it down for a few days after that, and the rest it didn't stop from there. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. I feel like I'm from a really diverse community. So you can be in a really nice, beautiful area of Beverly Hills or Skid Row in downtown, and I feel like I was exposed to both of those extremes in Los Angeles growing up. I feel like that contrast has inspired me a lot in the work. My dad is white, Jewish, American, born in San Francisco. My grandparents were from New York, and then my mom is Indian, came to America when she was 10. So I feel like they both have a really unique, different style with each other, but it blends well together. I feel like we get our inspiration from, I get it from my parents for sure as well. Just their diverse backgrounds. I've always just been trying to target what I think my friends would want to wear and the people around me. So one of the first things I was really interested in making was feather earrings for me and my friend's first trip to Coachella. That was the perfect opportunity to make something for all my friends to wear right then and there. But I pretty much started attempting to sell it right away. I was creating before Instagram, so I did start by having a Facebook page, or even just my personal Facebook, and I would post pictures of the jewelry I made on there and get feedback from friends and family oh, it's so cute. It all happened, in my opinion, in a really perfect harmony. So I was graduating college. I had just started Instagram at least, and then I had just started selling at the flea market. So all of those things happening at the same time, I feel created a lot of momentum. So naturally the things that I was posting were about what I was making and where I was selling it. But the evolution really just started very naturally. I don't think I even had a website when I first started posting on Instagram, just showing what I had. And then someone I met at the flea market was have you heard of Shopify? Which 10 years ago was really just a brand new thing and a brand new technology that you could make your own website really easily without it having to be on a third-party website like Etsy. So I quickly made a Shopify, and just everything I would post on Instagram was available on there, and the sales happened almost instantly. I had only had the Instagram for maybe 2 or 3 months. My style has always been very maximalist. I always like having a ton of accessories, whether it's jewelry or hats or belts, shoes, purses are always my passion. I've always said I don't do custom things really, and that has been my attitude from the beginning. So I feel everyone was really down for what I was making, what I was showing. It started off with feather earrings, but quickly evolved into skulls and spikes and all the things that were popular at that time, in the early 2010s. I think I was just always looking for new places on the body to put jewelry. So you start off with the basic palette of necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and rings, and that quickly went to anklets, hand chains, chokers, and I just started seeing a body as different places that you could cut lines. And I was interested in just making as many lines across the body as possible. So I think that's kind of how I got to the bodysuits and just full outfit type of things, but really just about lines. I always consider the audience and the customer base to have grown up with me and evolved taste with me, but I also look back to so many moments where I've worked with a bunch of models that have turned friends, or influencers that have turned friends, or co-creators that I've met through Instagram. So I feel the stuff I made after that, really was influenced by Instagram and the people I met through it, and have, continued to work with through that. I think our first international order was from Australia, and I started noticing that Australian fashion, and at least what was happening in the LA fashion scene, were really hand in hand. So we had a lot of like orders from there initially, from Canada, Shopify just making it accessible worldwide, and then Instagram kind of just hitting at the same time. I feel like it just opened it up. I think it was just really a case of like impeccable timing, because now with the oversaturation, it's like it's really hard to get seen. It's hard to, even now for us currently. I always feel a bit in between the space of being an artist and being an e-commerce company. I think in terms of getting seen and your exposure on Instagram translating into sales, it's completely oversaturated. I think from like 2015 to 2018, any girl could start a company on Instagram as long as she gifted it to the right people and got followers. I think that bubble has burst. I think the bubble of like influencers being a job title, that's soon to burst next. So like I myself am, trying to figure out other ways to create sales, to create long-term income and revenue for the company without just relying on Instagram. Everything we make is like 18 karat gold plated or sterling silver plated, so it's somewhere in between fine jewelry and costume jewelry, but I really want to create pieces that are longer lasting. I see how I got caught up and influenced by fast fashion as well because of Instagram, and so I see that the trends in jewelry move so much slower. So I do want to create pieces that when people buy them, they will increase in value over time. I think I want the higher quality pieces to be more for like the regular person and not necessarily for the celebrities. I want it to be attainable. I want the pieces to increase in value, but not because of like a scarcity model. I actually really don't like what I see in streetwear. Last year, like when all the riots and stuff were happening in LA, I felt like I had personally contributed to like the greed in like this next generation, and like the way these kids were looting and going crazy at stores on Melrose, like, right in my neighborhood where I am every single day. So I don't want it to be off of scarcity. I want to create like good quality products that like anyone could get. In terms of like social unrest for the world, I want my community that I've built, and it's mostly girls that I work with, so all the girls around me to like continue to be empowered and to keep passing that on. My personal goals, just showing other aspiring artists through my community that they can do anything that they want to do, and making that community open for people that have questions, that need tips, that need help, that need advice, teaching classes. When Vidakush was first coming up, I was seeing all these millennial companies like Twitter and Facebook that have vitamin water in the office and ping pong tables, and I felt like an immense pressure that working for Vidakush had to be like that too, as a millennial. But I'm just realizing that I didn't need to think that I needed to spend money to make people feel like that, because I can just, have to spend what's in your means. It's always been really hard for me to say how much I cost or how much a product costs. I feel a little bit unconfident when I say that, and when I get hired for freelance jobs, it's still to this day really difficult to say how much I want to get paid or what I think that my day rate should be and things like that. So being able to speak confidently about money, I think, is really important. Through Vidakush, I have been able to express myself. I've been able to show my thoughts and feelings, and I always say that it's like a reflection of current events, a reflection of pop culture, a reflection of what we're seeing in the world through a non-traditional way. It's not with my words, it's not with photos of me, it's through these small pieces that I create, and it helps me. I feel like if an idea is pent up, it has to get out. So I really, really appreciate that. And even though it is a bubble bursting, I think it's totally still accessible to anyone, especially if it's something that you're passionate about, things that you're willing to stick through when they're not pretty, when they're hard. I think in general, people shouldn't, and especially large companies, profit off of the cultures of other people. But I think on an individual to individual basis, it's fashion and wearing different things from other cultures and sharing things from my culture for other people to wear has been like a very rewarding experience and a way to learn about other cultures and a way for me to at least share my culture. I'm Rhianna, and I'm an artist.